Recording in progress.
Aibon Depute, good evening to all of you.
Hi, sir. Good evening, sir.
Okay, so under applications of microorganisms, we have discussed many applications of them in different industries and different fields. Right, today we are going to discuss very important, actually that's related with the transportation, and we call that bioremediation, right? Especially in the field of transportation and in environmental rehabilitation, in the field of whatever the environment, so natural environment, forests, and for the environmental rehabilitation, and sometimes that oil spills on the sea due to the submergence of some ships that transport oil, crude oil. Sometimes it gets damaged and submerged to water, but water is with high density compared to the density of oil fuels. Then what happens? Oil spills starts to float on water. Right, look at this. So topic takedown, applications of microorganism in bioremediation. What does it mean by bio? Bio means organisms. Remedy කියන්නේ මොකද පුතේ? Remedy means ප්‍රතිකර්මයක්. So what's the remedy for this disease? මේ රෝගයට remedy එක ප්‍රතිකර්මය කුමක්ද? Likewise. So remedy කියන්නේ ප්‍රතිකර්මය. එතකොට මේකේ සිංහල තේරුම ගත්තොත් bio remediation කියන්නේ ජෛව ප්‍රතිකර්ම කරණය. Right. Take down under this topic. Parisara Punaruttapani, environmental rehabilitation. Another thing, right? Under the takedown, microorganisms are used in environmental conservation. Conservation means සංරක්ෂණය, environmental conservation. මේකට කියනවා පුනරුත්ථාපනය, rehabilitation. Right. Examples. So altogether we call that bioremediation. මේ remedy එක ප්‍රතිකර්මය ජීවීන් මගින් යොදන නිසා අපි ඒකට bioremediation කියලා කියනවා. Bioremediation can be applied in following fields. Bioremediation can be applied in following fields. පහත ක්ෂේත්‍රවල යොදන්න පුළුවන් or following instances. Right. In the process of purification of water. ඒ කියන්නේ ජල පිරිපහදු මධ්‍යස්ථානවල when refining water, right? When purifying water in the purification centers, we have to use microorganisms to remove organic matters that pollute water. මේ water pollute කරන organic matter, ජෛව කොටස්, dead plants and animal parts අයින් කරන්න අපිට පුළුවන් microorganisms වල use කරනවා. Okay, take down the first application. Usage of microorganisms in the process of the purification of water for removing organic matter. For removing organic matter. Here we use aerobic bacteria. Aerobic bacteria, it consumes oxygen. Another type is anaerobic bacteria. When anaerobic bacteria are used, some odorless gases are evolved. But I think you have seen that in water purification centers, water aerated with atmospheric air. ඔයාලා දැකලා ඇති ජල පිරිපාදු මධ්‍යස්ථානවල aerate කරනවා, bubbling water ඇතුලේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ වතුර බුබුලු දානවා, දිය බුබුලු දානවා දැකලා ඇති. That's aeration. අර fish tanks වල වගේ. That means we facilitate that bacterium that consume oxygen. එතකොට එයාලා මොකද කරන්නේ? What it does? It decompose that biologically degradable organic matters into simple components and it is removed from the water. ඒගොල්ලෝ මේ organic matter consume කරනවා, then water gets purified. Right, next take down. For the removal of oil spills. For the removal of oil spills in sea. How it happens? කොහොමද මේ මුහුදේ oil spills, crude oil පැතිරෙන්නේ කොහොමද මුහුදේ? Because of that sinking of ships. මේ නැව්, තෙල් ප්‍රවාහන නැව් ගිලා බැස්සහම ජලයේ එයාලගේ තිබ්බ crude oil ජලය මත පාවෙනවා. පොඩි area, that's not a little area, right? Many square kilometers. Square kilometer විශාල ප්‍රදේශයක මේක පැතිරෙනවා. So how to remove that? Manually අපිට බෑ මේක අයින් කරන්න. That's a layer. And it harms for the microorganisms and macroorganisms like sea animals. Sea creatures, microorganism ලා ගත්තොත් එහෙම sea එකේ ඉන්න that phytoplanktons contributes more than green plants for the supplying oxygen. Oxygen supply කරන්න ලෝකෙ වැඩිපුරම අපිට දායක වෙන්නේ phytoplanktons කියන මුහුදු algae. ඒගොල්ලෝ විනාශ වෙනවා. So that destroys sea creatures. That's microorganism type. And macroorganisms, sea animal like that's coelenterata to big animals like whales. මේ sea creatures කුඩාම අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම සත්තු ගත්තොත් අපිට හම්බ වෙන්නේ sea animal like coelenterata to that biggest vertebrate. කවුද මේ ඉන්න ලොකුම vertebrates මොහොතේ ඉන්න? So that's whales. තල්මසුන් ඉන්නවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ ගත්තොත් mammals ලා, right? ඉතින් coelenterata to mammals මේගොල්ලෝ ඔක්කොටම damage වෙනවා. That's by the pollution of sea water. ඉතින් කොහොමද ඉවත් කරන්නේ oil spills? හිතන්නකෝ අර here's the oil spill, that's sea water level on a නැවක් ගිලා බසිමින් තියෙනවා. මෙයාගේ තිබ්බ oil ටික that starts to float over many square kilometers of area. How to remove that? So what we do, we apply bacteria over that. The bacteria consume this oil spill because bacteria can survive in wide range of environmental conditions, hot water springs, in volcanoes, in glaciers, everywhere it can survive. So another important thing, within short period of time, this microorganism bacteria can multiply its number of organisms. That means it can increase its population within a short period of time. චුට්ටක් දාපුවම එයාගේ කට්ටිය හුඟක් ඇති කරගෙන සාමාන්‍ය විනාඩියක් දෙකක් ඇතුළත එයාට පුළුවන් reproduction කරලා තව කෙනෙක් හදන්න. So in this process what happens, so within a short period of time we can remove this oil spill. නැත්නම් අර මුහුදේ ඉන්න කුඩා කුරුල්ලෙක් මේ යටින් ඇවිල්ලා මතු වුණොත් එහෙම නේද? මොකද වෙන්නේ? එයාගේ ඇඟ පුරාම ඔයිල් තට්ටුව ගෑවෙනවා. And it's badly impact on the sea creatures. Right. So what kind of organisms can be used to remove that oil spills? Example, pseudomonas. Pseudomonas can be used for this. Right, next, I think you remember that arsenic, chromium like heavy metals cause to many kidney diseases to man. It's a big problem in the field of agriculture because we apply many fertilizer containing that heavy metals. Removal of heavy metals is not an easy task, especially in the field of agriculture and in the environment. We cannot select it and remove. So microorganisms can be used for that. Let's take down for the removal of heavy metals. For the removal of heavy metals. Okay, examples for heavy metals: arsenic, chromium, lead, mercury especially, right? Mercury. Mercury hydrogyrum, Latin term Hg, we call that mercury. So what is used for that? Bacteria can be used for that. Not only for the removal, some of bacteria can be used in metal industry to extract metals from the metal ores that contains very low concentration of metals. For an example, iron extraction and copper extraction. We use the thiobacillus thioxidans and thiobacillus peroxidans like bacteria for the extraction of metals. ලෝහ නිදි වලින් ලෝහ නිස්සාරණය කරගන්නත් බැක්ටීරියා පාවිච්චි කරනවා. Thiobacillus specialis is special Thiobacillus like a specific type of bacteria species can be used for that. Right. Nowadays we are not using that ordinary plastic. In addition to that, we are using biodegradable plastic materials so that easily decayed with the help of bacteria. Right. Next, method of environmental rehabilitation. For the decomposition of biodegradable plastic, biodegradable. Okay, this part is very important because uh, why do we use microorganisms for different industries? What are the special features of them to use them as uh, the solution, best solution in industries? Industrial field එකේ ඇයි microorganism ලා පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ machineries වලට වඩා ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ තියෙන වාසිම. So what are the advantages when compared to machineries? මෙන්න මේක අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම අහනවා. O level එකත් අහනවා, A level එකත් අහනවා. Right? So let's take down special features of microorganisms. Special features of microorganisms. For the usage of favorable applications. Right, take down okay, imagine now you are going to do that dairy product industry. You apply a little amount of microorganism for the production of lactic acid, especially Lactobacillus bulgaricus, Streptococcus thermophilus like bacterium you add, but little amount. Within short period of time, they can create their number of their members by the fast reproduction. I think vegan reproduce කරලා එයාලගේ laborsලා ශ්‍රමිකයෝ සංඛ්‍යාව වැඩි කරගන්න පුළුවන්. අපි මිනිස්සු මේකට පාවිච්චි කරලා if we use that human for this, it takes more time and big process and spend cost. ඒගොල්ලෝ පඩි ඉල්ලනවා නේද? they are salary. microorganism වල salary ඉල්ලන්නේ නැහැ. අලුතෙන් සමාජිකයෝ බඳව ගන්න ගියාපුවම ඒකට ඉන්ටර්වියු කරන්න ඕනේ ගොඩක් જાති. microorganism වල ඉන්ටර්වියු කරන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. right? Okay. First reason to use microorganisms: fast reproduction rate, high rate of reproduction. High rate of reproduction. Right. They can act on different substrates. Existence of wide range of microorganisms that make different products, activating on different substrates. විවිධ උපස්ථරවල විවිධ නිපැයුම් කරන්න පුළුවන් විවිධ බැක්ටීරියා වර්ග ඉන්න. example milk කිරි මත ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා. that lactobacillus, it make curd. Actually it make that lactic acid Lactic acid make that coagulated milk. That means curd. Another substrate, if you get that carbohydrate or sugar, yeast like microorganism, unicellular fungi, it make ethanol. If you get that substrate, ethanol substrate එක ගත්තොත් microorganism can some bacteria, acetobacter, it can activate on the substrate ethanol. So here's the substrate, and here's the product, and here's the microorganism. A different substrate, different microorganism and bacteria streams, and it can create different products. So ethanol acetobacter, it make acetic acid. Acetic acid means ethanoic acid, organic acid. Right. Different substrate, the wide range of bacteria strains and fungi, it can create different products as well. Right. We learnt the applications of microorganism in genetic engineering. Why it becomes so easy to use microorganism bacteria for that? Easy to use in genetic engineering. As its genome is simple. Bacteria consists only one DNA molecule and other plasmids. Plasmid DNA. So we find it very easy to alter them and to produce new important products for the production of insulin, for the production of vitamin A, right? That's very easy. Right. Another thing, that's free. We don't spend money. Cost effectiveness or zero cost sometimes. We can get them at very cheap price or sometimes completely free of charge. That's cost effective. Energy consumption. These microorganisms use the substrate, the same substrate for the energy consumption. We don't need to give the electricity, fossil fuels, no need special energy to supply, because it uses the energy already in the substrate. Less consumption energy, less consumption of energy. It consumes the energy in the substrate. Right. What can you tell about the environmental pollution? These microorganisms are not making hazardous compounds to the environment. It does not. So it's a natural process. So natural substances are released to the environment. No. Environmental pollution. So these are the reasons for widely using microorganisms in the field of industries. Microorganism based industries are very cheap and less influence on the environment badly. Right. We have learned that beneficial effects of microorganisms. Now we are going to focus our attention on adverse effects or the disadvantages of microorganisms or harmful effects. Adverse effects of microorganisms. First one, making infectious diseases. Making infectious diseases. Right, you already know what does mean by the infection. Disease causative microorganism enter to the organism's body. That entrance is called the infection. Right, after the infection, what it does, it makes some toxic proteins, and the biological functions of the human body, we call that metabolism, is retarded. As a result of that, normal metabolism of the body is altered, and this abnormality is called a disease. මේගොල්ලෝ ශරීරයට ඇතුළේ අපි සාමාන්‍ය biochemical reactions වෙනස් කරනවා. ඒකට බලපාන දේවල් කරනවා. Because of that, after the infection and the increase in the number of organisms and the activation in the body, so our normal body function is altered. This change in the normal body function is called the disease. මේ සාමාන්‍ය ශරීර ක්‍රියාකාරීත්වය වෙනස් කිරීමට අපි රෝගයක් කියලා කියනවා. Right? Microorganisms. Bacteria, fungi, protozoa, malaria, entamoeba like protozoans, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, virus. Make infectious diseases. Due to the infection growth and the activity. Normal metabolism. Normal metabolism of due to the infection, growth and the activity, normal metabolism of the host organism is changed. This abnormal, this abnormality is called a disease. Right. Different types of microorganisms make different infectious diseases. Diseases to man. Pathogen or disease causative microorganism or the pathogen, and the disease condition. Pathogen, disease, method of spread, and the infection method of infection. Infection. කොහොමද ඇඟ ඇතුළට යන්නේ? Nature of infection. Okay, let's see how it happens with some examples. Right, all the viruses, most of the time, they are pathogenic. That's viral infections. So virus, how it infect. Usually, that's easy to keep that in your mind. Virus named with the disease condition they are created, right? Cold make cold or influenza. So that's made by influenza virus, right? Another one, dengue, right? Dengue virus. AIDS disease is made by HIV virus. So method of spread, how it is spreaded. කොහොමද මෙයාලා spread වෙන්නේ? Cold. When you sneeze, because of that tiny droplets containing virus, it spreads to another host. එක host කෙනෙක්ගෙන් තව host කෙනෙක්ට යනවා. Right, that's by air, through air. Dengue by the vector mosquito, right? Mosquito vectors. AIDS, HIV. When one person is infected through the blood. AIDS virus is spread. Infection method. How it is infected. කොහොමද එක රෝගියෙක්ගෙන් තව රෝගියෙක්ගේ ඇඟ ඇතුළට යන්නේ? ඇඟ ඇතුළට යන ක්‍රමය, right? Method of infection. Cold that is spread through air, so we inhale, that's through the respiratory openings. through the respiratory system. Yes, dengue, yes, by the insect bite. So this means mosquito bite. Mosquito කියන insect අපිව bite කරපුවා. Mosquito bites. And enters to the blood circulatory system of ours. HIV, AIDS, through the sexual contacts and the blood transfusion. Sexual contact and blood transfusion. HIV virus is infected. Right, so that's all given examples for the virus infections. Viral infections next. Bacterial infections. Bacterial infections. Right, ක්ෂයරෝගය disease. Tuberculosis. Tuberculosis, yes, that's bacteria, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. There are different strains. It's also spread through air. That's through the respiratory system. Another one, typhoid fever. Typhoid. Right, that bacterium typhoid enters to your body and it spreads through food and polluted water. අපිරිසිදු දූෂිත ජලය සහ ආහාර වලින් food, මේකට අපි කියනවා contaminated food. හැම ජලයම නෙමෙයිනේ. මේ බැක්ටීරියාව contaminate වෙලා තියෙනවා. Contaminated water and food. Yes, that's through the food selling එන්නේ අපේ digestive tract. To the digestive system. Right, protozoans yes, malaria. Amoebic dysentery. Amoeba අතිසාරය. Amoebic dysentery. Malaria, amoebic dysentery and leishmaniasis, දරුණු තුවාල. Bacterial wounds, infected wounds වගේ නෙමෙයි leishmaniasis. That's big wound, right? Right. So how this malaria? That's by the vector, mosquito vector. So what's that name of the protozoan? කවුද පුතා ඒ වර්ග හතරක් ඉන්නවා. Malaria caused protozoan. I'll show you that. Four types. Plasmodium falciparum, Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium ovale and Plasmodium malariae. එකපාර මතකත් තියෙනවනේ. Plasmodium vivax, falciparum, ovale and Plasmodium malariae. ඒක malaria හදන්නේ Plasmodium කියලා මතක තියාගන්න. This Plasmodium. Unicellular one, that's protozoan, right? It is infected by that's mosquito bite. This amoeba athesare, that's amoebic dysentery, that's spread through the polluted water. If that's by the polluted water, is infected with the digestive system. Right. Leishmaniasis, another protozoan. ඒක උගක් ඇති වෙන්නේ මේ වැලි මැක්කන්ගෙන්. පහුගිය කාලේ නිගම්බු ඒරියා එකේ මීගමු ප්‍රදේශයේ ආසාදිතය හුඟක් ඇති වුණා. දරුණු තුවාල ඇති වෙනවා. විශාල තුවාල සුව කිරීම හරි අපහසුයි. Sometimes that's fatal, මාරාන්තිකයි. හරි. Right, take down that's sandfly. Vector sandfly. වැලි මැක්කා නේද? Right, that's by the bite of that open wounds on the skin. Right, all the infections, virus, bacteria, protozoans. Another one very important, that's fungal infection. Okay, let's take down the fungal infections. Pathogen fungi. Pityriasis. Right. That fungal spores, පුතාලා දන්නවා fungal body is the mycelium, a thread-like structure. It creates a spores. අර බිත්තර හදනවා වගේ මේගොල්ලෝ හදනවා microscopic spores, බීජාණු. When that is contact with another human skin, that is spreaded. අලුහම් වගේව බෝ වෙනවා. හරි. ඉස්සරි වගේව බෝ වෙන්නේ මේ වගේ contact, physical contact වලින්. Right? Okay, take down methods of the spreading: physical contact of the infected person. Physical contact of infected person. Yes, how it is infected? Through the skin. Right, there are more diseases to know. So these are the infectious diseases to man. Right, next we have to study the infectious disease as you learned in grade 8 as well. Infectious diseases to plants. Infectious diseases to plants. Right. First one, powdery mildew. Right, I think you may have seen that. Just powder-like disease underneath of fruit, underneath of leaves, and around the fruits. In pepper plant, in coffee plant. That's powdery mildew. සුදු පාට කුඩු වගේ. So okay, let's see the diagram. Or real image, let's see. හිම වැටලා වගේ නේද? Okay, look at this. Can you see this disease condition? That's the powdery mildew. Caused by fungi. Nature, a white powder like nature on leaves. Right. Late blight. Late blight, so it is affected too, especially on potato plant, widely affected. Nature. What's the nature of the infection? That's brown spots. Later turns to black. Late blight on potato. Okay, look at this. Here's the late blight on potato leaves as well as in the tubers as well. Right, this late blight. It's a fungal infection. Right, take it down. Right, next, wilting of leaves. Melavema. Usually that's caused by bacterium. Wilting. Leaf gets wilted caused by bacteria or fungi. Caused by bacteria or fungi. What happens here? Growing in xylem blocks the supply of water. Water supply එක block කරනවා. Right. Next, we have to learn the spoilage of foods as harmful effect of microorganism. Right. Let's continue that in next week. So I think you enjoyed the lesson because of the diseases, and you have to keep that in your mind. Make exam එකට අහන්නම හිතෙනවා ඔයාලා paper එක හැදුවත්. Therefore, you have to give much attention on this. So I hope you will keep that in your mind. Then let's stop here. So thank you so much for the participation. Tevan Sarnai. God bless you.
It was sir. God bless you, sir.
Okay, have a nice night.